Naranam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam udirayet nasta prayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavatir uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naistiki krishnaya vasudevaya devaki nandanaya cha nanda gopakumaraya govindaya namo namaha. Okay, now I'll go to the verse. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Where can I share my screen? Can you see my screen? Haribo?
Yes,
Yes,
Prabhu.
Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. We can see.
Already? Okay. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 9, Text number 15. ददर्श तत्र किल सत्वतां पतिं श्रियापतिं यज्ञपतिं जगत्पतिं सुनन्दनन्दप्रबलार्हानादिभिः अनादिभिः पार्षदाग्रैः परिसेवितं विभुं. One more time. Excuse me. ददर्श तत्र किल सत्वतां पतिं श्रियापतिं यज्ञपतिं जगत्पतिं सुनन्दनन्दप्रबलार्हनादिभिः स्वपार्षदाग्रैः परिसेवितं विभुं. Synonyms. Dadarsha Brahmasa Tatra, there in Vaikuntha Loka, Akila, entire, Sattvatam, of the great devotees, Patim, the Lord, Shriya, of the goddess of fortune, Patim, the Lord, Yagna, of sacrifice, Patim, the Lord, Jagat, of the universe, Patim, the Lord, Sunanda, Nanda, Prabala, Archana, Arhana, Adibihi, by them, Swaparsada, own associates, Agraihi, by the foremost, Parisevitam, being served in transcendental love, Vibhum, the great Almighty. Translation. Lord Brahma saw in the Vaikuntha planets the personality of Godhead, who is the Lord of the entire devotee community, the Lord of the goddess of fortune, the Lord of all sacrifices, and the Lord of the universe, and who is served by the foremost servitors like Nanda, Sunanda, Prabala, and Arhana, his immediate associates. When we speak of a king, purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, when we speak of a king, it is naturally understood that king is accompanied by his confidential associates, like his camp, ministers, and advisors. So also, when we see the Lord, we see him with his different energies, associates, confidential servitors, etc. So the Supreme Lord, who is the leader of all living entities, the Lord of all the devotees' sects, the Lord of all opulences, the Lord of sacrifices, and the enjoyer of everything in his entire creation, is not only the Supreme Person, but also is always surrounded by his immediate associates, all engaged in their transcendental loving service to him. I'll read the other one also. You gave me 2 bonus today. 2:9:16. Bhritya prasada prasadibi mukam drug Asavam prasanna hasaruna lochananam kiritinam kundalinam chaturbujam pitam shukam vakshasi lakshitam shriya Pritya prasada bibhukam durgasavam prasanna hasaruna lochananam kiritinam kundalinam chaturbujam pitam shukam vakshasi lakshitam shriya. Translation: the personality of Godhead seen leaning favorably towards his loving servitors. His very sight, intoxicating and attractive, appeared to be very much satisfied. He had a smiling face decorated with an enchanting reddish hue. He was dressed in yellow robes and wore earrings and a helmet on his hand. He had 4 hands, and his chest was marked with the lines of the goddess of fortune. Purport: in the Padma Purana, Uttarakanda, there is a full description of the Yoga Pita, or the particular place where the Lord is in audience to his eternal devotees. In that Yoga Pita, the personifications of religion, knowledge, opulence, and renunciation are all seated at the lotus feet of the Lord. The 4 Vedas, namely Rig, Sama, Yajur, and Atharva, are present there personally to advise the Lord. Wow. The 16 energies headed by Chanda are all present here. Chanda and Kumuda are the first 2 doorkeepers. At the middle door are the doorkeepers named Bhadra and Subhadra, and at the last door are Jaya and Vijaya. There are other doorkeepers also named Kumuda, Kumudaksha, Pundarika, Vamana, Shankukarna, Sarvanetra, Sumukha, etc. The Lord's palace is well decorated and protected by the above mentioned doorkeepers. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitamena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Tadati Swapadantikam Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nitinamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarane Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktaranda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangam Lamgayate Grim Yatkrupata Mahamande Shri Gurum Tena Taranam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Nananandamayam Devam Nirmalam Spatika Pratimadaram Sarva Vidyanam Hayagrivam Upasme. Thank you everyone for joining this session of Srimad Bhagavatam. So this is an important verse to understand what happened during Brahma after appeared on the lotus feet all the way from navel of Garbhodaksha Vishnu. He was searching where he was, and he was trying to find where is the root, where am I coming from. He glided down all the way to the and finally he heard tapa, tapa, tapa. Then he understood that he has to do the meditation, tapas, and he started meditating on the Lord. And one point of time, he could see, he had a vision of the Vaikuntha planet. And not just the planet, he had a vision of the Lord, which these 2 verses are saying that he was able to see the Lord Brahma was able to see the Lord in his vision. And in this particular verse 15, it has been said that what did he see really? Saw in the Vaikuntha planets the personality of God, who is the Lord of the entire community, devotee community. It is telling the Lord of the goddess of fortune, the Lord of all sacrifices, and the Lord of the universe, and who is served by the foremost servitors like Nanda, Sunanda, Prabala, and Arahana, his immediate associates. So one thing comes to my mind is Jagannath. Think about our deity Jagannath. He is the Lord of the universe. In Vaikuntha, a lot of the universe is there. In our universe, we have Kshirodakshai Vishnu in the top. In the Dhruva Loka, he is still residing even today. He's always residing, not today. He's always residing there as the Kshirodakshai Vishnu in the Milk Ocean. That's a lot of our universe. Jagannath, we call Jagannath as a lot of universe, but of course, Kshirodakshai Vishnu is there in our universe. He's a lot of this universe. And then is coming, where is this Kshirodakshai coming? Is coming from Garbhodakshai Vishnu, because this is the entire manifestation of Karanadakshai Vishnu, Garbhodakshai Vishnu, and Kshirodakshai Vishnu. We know what it is, how it is, how they're manifested in this creation of this material world. And Brahma, born from the navel of, appeared from the navel of Garbhodakshai Vishnu. And he is now thinking about what to do, and he has to think, how do I create universe? It's all Krishna will, Lord Narayan will help him to understand, and after all this meditation, he will give the knowledge to do that in these future verses. But now, when he saw the Lord in this Vaikuntha planet, he is referring to, oh, he is the Lord of an entire devotee community. He is a goddess of the god of fortune, goddess of fortune, so on and so forth. And he is also, he can see, is not just Lord sleeping there alone on this. He's not just sleeping, or is not just alone there. He can see that in the previous verse, goddess Lakshmi Devi, he is Rama Devi or Lakshmi Devi. She's serving sitting at the lotus feet and massaging Lord Vishnu's lotus feet non-stop. And then not only that, there are so many other servitors, like immediate associates. There are maybe the prominent of 4 of them here, but there are many. And do you think, I was thinking about a leader, for example, in the prime minister or a president in a White House. Is he alone? Yeah, he might be alone in the White House, but coming to how many people with him, he is not alone. He is his family and his whole entourage there for administration purposes. And think about Narayan, he's not just alone sitting there, right? How can, say, suppose I'm a leader, I'm sitting there alone. What can I do? I can't do anything, right? I can just think about, I can do everything. But Lord, he can, in a fraction of minutes, in the moment, he can do everything. It's not that Lord cannot do anything. He can administer, he can create, he can do whatever he wants. But he doesn't want to be alone. He is always with his devotees. This exchanges, the loving exchanges between him and his devotees, is most important to understand. What I mean to say, if Krishna, I'm looking at the 2 aspects, one is Vaikuntha and then another one is the Golok Vrindavan, which we don't know much, but based on some of the descriptions of how from the Bhagavatam, how that a coward boy he went all the way to different planetary systems from Vrindavan, and he flew all the way to up one after the other, Gopakumar, right? He went all the way to the Lord Shiva planet, and from the higher planetary system, he went to the Vaikuntha, and from Vaikuntha, he transcended to the Ayodhya, and then from Ayodhya, he went to Dwaraka, and then from Dwaraka, he went to Goloka Vrindavan. I was just thinking about this when Maharaj was explaining a few months ago, how beautiful the description of the spiritual sky, especially with all these Vaikuntha planets. And Lord is not sitting alone. Lord wants to be with his associates. As I said, Lord can do anything on his own, but it's boring. For me, even if you do alone, it's boring. It's just exactly, I was thinking about think about our family situation, our friends, our devotees. The president of the temple, say Premananda Mataji, she can do everything? Yes, she can. She is capable of doing it. But what is the use of doing everything on her own? She wants the entire team, entourage, to get the things done. Why? That is the loving exchange. She is, and each of them, it's like a divide and conquer. It's been distributed to devotee, all the responsibilities distributed, and each of them serve each other and serve the higher ups. And that's how the hierarchy is. Why is it important to know? Why do we need that hierarchy? We are, based on our Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's instruction, what are we supposed to do is Gopi Bharta Pada Kamalayor Dasa Dasa Anu Dasa. I am not Naham Vipro Nacha Narapatir Napi Vaishyo Na Sudro Naham Varnicha Gruhapatir Navanasto Yatirva. Right? That verse, Gopi Bharta Pada Kamalayor Dasa Dasa Anu Dasa. So I'm just thinking about what is this verse talking about. When we serve the higher ups, even in the Goloka Vrindavan, Krishna and Radharani, and there are so many Sakhis, Gopis serving Radharani, and there are so many Manjaris who are assisting the covered. Radharani has, if you look at the hierarchy, Manjaris are there, and our Rupa Manjari, Rupa Goswami, they're all Manjaris, right? So they're all assisting Radharani, and it is coming in a hierarchy. And I heard from one of the lectures that anybody who assists in the seva of Krishna and the seva of Radharani, they'll be more jubilant than Radharani. So they'll be more blissful. So that means, why is this even in Vaikuntha, in that way, not just Goddess Lakshmi is serving. Somebody is serving, again, all these immediate associates are there. They are serving the Lord, and also the Goddess Fortune, both of them. And suppose they are the managers. And for those managers, there are certain another set of people who are serving them, devotees. So it's like, I'm thinking about, I don't know how this total hierarchy comes in, but everybody is serving their higher ups. Rasa, that's where it comes from, right? It is really mind-boggling how I was hearing a few days ago, Prabhupada says, I'm not able to say that, but Prabhupada says, Krishna is the greatest rascal. Can you imagine? Who can say that? Can I tell Narsingh Dev the same thing? No. For Krishna, Prabhupada is telling he's the greatest rascal. He is the greatest thief. He can do anything. He's butter, it's a butter thief. What kind of exchange is that? Prabhupada had that. If Prabhupada wants to say that word, it's not an ordinary thing, right? And then even in Vrindavan, all the sakhas, they are actually, they fight with Krishna. And they ask to carry, one of the Gopas comes and say, hey, carry me. And then Krishna has to carry him. And Mother Yashoda comes with a stick to beat Krishna. Can you imagine all this? Who can do this? And Radharani says, get out of here. A few lectures from Maharaj when Maharaj came. And there's some of the pastimes. You came late. Why are you here? Get out of here. I don't want to see your face, Krishna. Get out of here. Can we really say, how can we have this can we say to any Narayan or Lord Narayan or, other deities? It's very difficult. In same way, the rasa in Narayan, in the Vaikuntha, and the rasa in Vrindavan is entirely different. How beautiful Krishna, he goes to, and then the Lord, either Narayan or Vishnu or Krishna, they cannot be alone. They want to have their loving exchanges with their associates, right? So in that way, they can serve each other, and they get, everybody is serving each other, and then serving the higher ups. I think that's what it says. You become jubilant and purified, and that way you will be successful in your purification and do your devotional service. I remember that Thirumangai Alvar, right? He was being, what did the wife say to him? Because he wants to marry her, and she said, no, I want you to go and do a Vaishnava Seva first, and then only you can come and marry me, right? That's what she said. That was a challenge. And he served every day all the Vaishnavas, and every day he used to go and touch their lotus feet and wash their lotus feet every day. How that means? It's making me humble, because the false ego is the problem. So it's making me humble so that I am eligible to, what is the humility is the main thing. Cheto Darpanamarjan is there, purification happens. When that will happen? When you have a humility. When Prabhupada had one friend, I forgot his friend name. What is that I need to do, Prabhupada? Please help me out, because you are a great devotee. And he said, Trunadapi Sunichena Taroriva Sahishnuna Manina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari. Prabhupada telling, right? And he's telling his god brother, if at all, I don't know whether he's a god brother. And he said, if at all you are able to do it, please do it. That is the main key for your devotional service. And now in the entourage, if you see this whole Vaikuntha planet, how are they serving each other? And how are they serving their higher ups? And everybody is jubilant. It's mind-boggling to understand how the same thing when they say, serve, serve, serve. I did not understand, why do I need to serve? I can have directly, once I go to, say, suppose somebody goes to the Vaikuntha planet, maybe they have a connection directly with Krishna. Of course, they have connection directly with Krishna, but they are not directly serving Krishna. They are being assigned to, he will be there, but he or she will be there, but they will be assigned to some assistant of some manjari or assistant of something. It's very difficult to understand, but end of the day, you will be, at least you have that consciousness and purified soul. We can go back to Vaikuntha or even Golok Vrindavan. But you see, having the vision of the Lord, that itself is great. But main thing is the servitor, serving the higher ups. And I just want to, I know it's already late. There's so much to explain, but I want to describe a few things from the Vaikuntha, what Gopakumar explained, what he saw. He saw within that palace when he went to Vaikuntha. Within that palace, I saw before me at a distance the personality of God, Lord of Vaikuntha. He sat at leisure on the best of royal thrones, a golden throne shimmering with the glow of many jewels. The cushion on which he sat was a swan white cotton, fine, attractive, spotlessly clean, and the soft, handsome bolster on which he leaned, his left elbow and the upper arm appeared like the full moon cleansed of his spots. He was presiding lord of the blossoming youth. Can you see? He was like a blossoming youth. The brilliant effulgence of his sweet, attractive limbs defeated the splendor of new rain clouds. That effulgence lent further grace to his garlands, cosmetics, and garments, already graced by with gems. His four shining arms, long and well built, enhanced the beauty of his bangles and armlets. Two yellow silk garments dressed his body, and charming earrings set off his rounded cheeks. On his broad chest was the Kaustuba jewel, on his conch shell neck a string of pearls, and on his moon-like face a nectarian smile. His lotus eyes were alive with the playful glances. The great compassion he felt made his beautiful eyebrows dance. Rama, his ideally matching consort, standing by his left side, reverently offered him accepted. The color of that pan made his bimba fruit lips even more attractive, and their luster reflected on his teeth. Two rows of spotless kunda flowers illumined by the glow of those flowers. His playful smile shone splendidly. His amusing words and gestures stole away the hearts of his devotees. The goddess Dharani, holding in her hand a vessel to cast the remnants of petal net, constantly worshipped the Lord with messages in sidelong glances. And the Lord's excellent weapons like Sudarshana served him in beautiful personified forms, their identities marked by symbols on their heads. Servants stood all by the transcendental items that held for his service, like slippers and York tail fans. Shesha, Garuda, Vishwaksena, and other leaders of his many groups of attendants bowed down before him with devotion, stood before him with the palms joined about their heads, and praised him in wonderful poetic language. Sri Narada's dancing and his expert singing and Veena playing created such a clever entertainment that the Lord and his two consorts, Rama and Dharani, sometimes laughed out loud. To add to the special ecstasy of these devotees, whose hearts were fixed only on him, from time to time, the Lord extended both his lotus feet as a way of offering himself. In this way, he exhibited his splendor. The fullness of the ecstasy that sight brought on made me forget what the attendants of the Lord had instructed me. I cried out again and again, "Oh Gopala, my life and soul," and I ran forward to embrace the Lord. It's I cannot stop this reading how the Vaikunta, such a beautiful place. So Vaikunta means there is no anxiety. And actually, when we see the Gopkumar looking at this, when he when he was flying, he crossed over the Mahesh Dham, and then Lord Shiva and Uma, they blessed him. And then he went to the Vaikunta, and he was on the and they said the associates of Lord told him to wait in the gate of Vaikunta so that they can get permission to take him. And the moment he was just waiting, he can see so many 400 forms walk over, coming over, and then he offered obeisances to those 400 forms. And they said, no, I am not the Lord. They say, I am not the Lord, I am just the servant of the Lord. And he see that so many aeroplanes flying. What a vision. Beautiful and excellent. And it's so much pleasure to even think about, just thinking about and meditating on it gives so much bliss. And what if we are all there in that planet to be with the Lord and become an associate and the servants of the Lord? I think it's an I was just meditating on all this, and then I was thinking about immediately when I heard these two verses, I said maybe I should read something from Srimad Bhagavatam. That's why I read, and I'm completely satisfied. Minutes. Thank you for the opportunity, Prabhu. Sorry, thank you. So I think I went more time. Please forgive me, and I think I'll stop. Sorry for the delay of this. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namo ananta koti vaishnavandikichay. If anybody have quick comments or questions, I think we are open for this.
Oh my, what a description, Prabhu. Really stealing the heart. So thankful and grateful to you for choosing and, wanting to share your appreciation of that. Just feeling so grateful to, you and Sanatan Goswami and all our acharyas for us to open the doors. I mean, otherwise, there is no way we can access these descriptions, right? Like yesterday we were discussing in some other religion, the description of God is like some old person sitting there wanting to punish. This is such a drastic contrast to that. It's just so attracting, totally stealing the heart. Thank you so much.
I was just I don't know, at the 11:30 in the night, I got inspired. Oh me, you know what? Because that is the time when I read this two verses. Somehow Krishna inspired me. Maybe it's there something in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Then I was searching from Rumpad Maharaj's lectures, because he was reading, right? The Vaikunta, Dwaraka, and
Prabhu, your voice sometimes getting
yeah, Prabhu, I think there is an internet issue. That's
for you
what
only, right? Not for me, right? Okay.
not for you. It says the internet connection is unstable for some reason. Sorry about that. So, but anyway, this was really inspiring me. So that's why I thought maybe read these verses. How beautiful. I think we should just read that Vaikunta whole thing whenever we have time. Anyway, thank you so much, Mataji.
So Prabhuji, hearing you, your internet also goes in the Samadhi.
Sorry.
Couple of comments, Prabhu, in the Zoom chat.
Yeah.
Sasishwata Prabhu was saying thank you for giving the experience of Vaikunta and importance of humility to understand Supreme Personality of Godhead. Drilla Mataji, I didn't understand in Vaikunta, Prabhuji opened doors for me. Yeah.
What?
No, I didn't understand the comment. I think it's maybe she might be.
She want blessings.
The blessing is Prabhupada's and Guru Maharaj's blessing, because Prabhupada also said, if you hold the dhoti of Prabhupada, he can take us back to the back door, even though we are not qualified. Of course, we are not qualified at all, but Guru Maharaj's mercy and Prabhupada's mercy, he has that compassion. If you just follow what Prabhupada said, to chant 16 rounds and follow the regulative principles and hearing and chanting every day, that itself is our qualification to go back to Godhead. Because in Krishna, we may always think that we are not qualified. Of course, what is the qualification we have anyway, right? We don't even have qualification. It is only by the causeless mercy of Prabhupada and his disciples, like Guru Maharaj and Prabhupada. We have, otherwise, think about, you say, suppose if you are not even in ISKCON, right? How do you think even we know all these pastimes? How do we know about the Vaikuntha? Maybe we can go into another Sri Sampradaya. They have their own way of explaining. That's also beautiful. I'm not telling anything wrong there. That's Narayan is as good as Krishna. But the Rasa Tattva, which is the what do you call is Siddhanta is same, but the Rasa or the mellows or the exchanges between the Lord and his associates, that sweetness is given to us by Lord Prabhupada and Lord Chaitanya, because it was there. Even Hare Krishna Mahamantra was there, Srimad Bhagavatam was there, and everything was there. But Lord Chaitanya, when he appeared, what did he really give us? He gave us the sweetness to taste the sweetness of the Lord. That's what he bestowed the mercy on all of us. So because of his mercy, Lord Chaitanya and Prabhupada and all his associates, we are experiencing, understanding what that bliss means, what sweetness means, right? So the prema comes later, but prema is not easy to come there, to get there. But this, at least to understand the sweetness, then you will develop love because of that sweetness, right? That exchanges, even if you hear about these exchanges within the Lord and associates, it's mind-boggling. Correct, no? So that's what my comment on that. Hare Krishna.
Another comment by Gopal Hari Prabhu. Your classes was very inspiring. I missed the first 15 minutes. I will hear the recording.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. I mean, regarding the servants, I was thinking, because everybody is in what do you call in what is the word? I mean, the servants. I mean, we are Lakshmi Sahasra Sata Sambram Sevyamanam, right? I mean, it's, I mean, 1 lakh, I mean, 1 million is easy to maybe guess it. We will be able to see, but the spiritual world is, I mean, 3 times bigger than the material creation, right? It is not just talking about human beings. It is talking about all the living entities that we cannot even count in the material world, right? How about spiritual world? But everybody is serving the Supreme Lord. So, I mean, it's very difficult to understand, but yeah, how they would be happy in
Yeah,
doing that,
when I
right?
was reading this, Prabhu, I was reading, there are still more, right? Since the time was short, I couldn't read much of that Bhagavatamrita. When Gopakumar went and he was standing in the gate, he saw so many men coming, right? 400 form. He thought every time he saw, oh, he is Lord Vishnu, he is the Lord, and then he's not. So then one after the other, then every time, yeah, right? Even before that, there are so many other gatekeepers. Every time he goes to the one gate, and he saw one very effulgent with the more dress up. That means he is the manager of those other people, right?
Yeah.
Like that. And he was, every time he sees some, he said, wow, that means how many people are serving. And even enter that 7 gates inside, I'm thinking about Lord Venkateshwara, right? Even getting there, it's the same thing. Vaikuntha is real Vaikuntha. Thinking about that Vaikuntha, my God, how many gates we have to enter, how many people are there, Vaikuntha. Think about just the Lord Venkateshwara's Tirupati palace, right? That's the palace for us. How many people are serving to even get there? I first of all, I could understand why there are so many required. Then I compared that with the Lord Venkateshwara's abode, and right from all the way down from Tirupati to Tirumala, how many people are serving? For one person to even get into have one darshan, one small 1 minute darshan, how many people are facilitating to even have darshan? In that way I compared, then I understood, oh my God, it's not easy. Vaikuntha itself is so much demand and so many. And think about the other Vaikuntha. Anyway, thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. I don't know. I can't stop. There's so much time. If you have given me another hour, I would have read some more
You
from.
can speak again, Prabhu.